The news has rocked Baltimore and the entire NFL community. John Harbaugh, after 18 seasons leading the Ravens, is no longer the head coach for almost 2 decades. Harbaugh had been the cornerstone of this franchise, building a culture of resilience, discipline, and competitiveness that defined the Ravens' identity. Yet, despite his long-standing tenure and the loyalty he earned from fans, players, and staff, the organization decided to make a change. Sources indicate that the decision was ultimately made by owner Steve Bisciotti, reportedly going against the front office's inclinations. It seems there were multiple layers to this situation, from the alignment between coaches and players to the dynamics within the locker room, that contributed to the final call. From what's been gathered, one of the central points in this dramatic shakeup involved the relationship between Harbaugh, offensive coordinator Todd Monken, and quarterback Lamar Jackson. John Harbaugh had been a stabilizing force, often acting as a buffer between Monken and Jackson, especially during tense moments throughout the season. While Harbaugh wanted to retain Monken, believing he could maintain continuity with his coaching staff, friction between Monken and Jackson became a significant factor. Reports suggest their personalities didn't mesh perfectly, creating challenges in communication and execution on the field. Harbaugh's role in smoothing those tensions highlighted not only his leadership, but also the delicate balance necessary to keep a locker room cohesive. At the highest level of professional football, player feedback reportedly played a crucial role in the organization's evaluation of Harbaugh's future. Sources indicate that, toward the end of his tenure, some players expressed doubts about whether they wanted to play under him moving forward. It wasn't solely about performance or playoff results. It was about alignment, trust, and shared vision. The idea that Harbaugh had lost the locker room became a key talking point, suggesting that, while some players remained loyal, there was enough collective uncertainty to warrant a change. Lamar Jackson's dynamic with Harbaugh is believed to have contributed, but it was not the sole factor, as multiple voices throughout the team influenced the decision-making process. The organization prioritized listening to its roster and ensuring that the next leadership era would be fully aligned with its players' perspectives and goals. The timing of this decision has been particularly striking. The Ravens had just completed another game, and yet within hours, the franchise announced that Harbaugh would not return. For many, the speed of this change underscored the urgency and decisiveness of the ownership. It wasn't a slow, negotiated transition. It was a definitive move signaling a new chapter. While Harbaugh expressed gratitude and reflected on his years with the Ravens, emphasizing the relationships he built and the moments he cherished, the abruptness left many within the organization and across the league in shock. His statement carried both appreciation and acknowledgement of the disappointment inherent in such a transition, capturing the complexity of leaving a place that had been home for nearly 2 decades. Reports also indicate that Harbaugh's departure has triggered interest from other franchises. Media sources have confirmed that several teams, potentially as many as 9, have reached out regarding his availability. Among those, the New York Giants have been mentioned frequently, highlighting the ongoing demand for experienced, successful leadership in the league. While the Ravens move forward in their search for a new head coach, speculation continues about where Harbaugh's expertise might next be applied. His reputation as a coach who can develop talent, manage high-pressure situations, and maintain organizational stability ensures that he remains a highly sought-after figure, even after leaving the city where he built his legacy. Meanwhile, attention in Baltimore has immediately turned to the coaching search and the candidates who could potentially step into the head coach role. Names have already surfaced, including coordinators with prior ties to the organization, reflecting the franchise's desire to maintain familiarity with the culture Harbaugh built, while also introducing fresh leadership. Defensive and offensive minds with connections to Baltimore's system are under consideration, showing the importance placed on continuity and strategic alignment. Fans, analysts, and media alike are tracking every development closely, aware that the choice of the next coach will set the tone for the team's trajectory. In the post-Harbaugh era, within the locker room, reactions to Harbaugh's departure have ranged from respect to genuine sentimentality. Current players have acknowledged his impact on their development, leadership, and careers, emphasizing the professionalism and mentorship that define his tenure. Former players have also weighed in, highlighting not only his coaching acumen, but the values he instilled and the culture he nurtured. While there is acknowledgement of some challenges and disagreements over the years, the consensus reflects a deep appreciation for Harbaugh's contributions to the Ravens organization, both on and off the field. His departure marks the end of an era, leaving a legacy that will be remembered long after the news cycle moves on. Despite the uncertainty that comes with leadership changes, the Ravens are moving forward with clarity and purpose. Ownership has made it evident that finding a head coach who can match the franchise's high standards and connect with both players and staff is paramount. The organization is committed to ensuring that the next era builds upon the foundation established over the past 18 years, even as it brings in new energy and vision. Speculation about potential candidates, including those with previous ties to the team and those bringing fresh perspectives from elsewhere in the league, has already begun to dominate discussions. For fans, this is a moment of both reflection and anticipation, signaling a significant pivot in the franchise's journey. As the story continues to unfold, additional details about the internal dynamics, player feedback, and the deliberations that led to Harbaugh's exit are likely to surface. The intricate interplay of leadership, relationships, and performance is at the heart of professional sports, and this situation is a textbook example of how even long-tenured, respected figures can face abrupt transitions. For Baltimore, the challenge now lies in navigating the post-Harbaugh landscape, identifying leadership that resonates with the roster, and charting a path that balances legacy with innovation. The impact of this decision will reverberate not just within the city, but throughout the league, influencing coaching discussions and player decisions across the NFL. Even in the aftermath of such a seismic change, the focus remains on the players and the team's immediate prospects. The Ravens' front office and coaching search are now under intense scrutiny, as fans and analysts dissect each possible hire and speculate on the direction the team will take. How the organization addresses the issues highlighted during Harbaugh's tenure, particularly regarding locker room alignment and offensive cohesion, will be critical in shaping the franchise's next chapter. For the city and its supporters, the priority remains clear: ensuring that the Ravens remain competitive and that the values and culture that brought them success endure, even as new leadership takes the helm. With John Harbaugh's departure, the Ravens now face one of the most critical periods in their recent history, searching for a head coach capable of leading a team built around Lamar Jackson, while also maintaining the identity that Harbaugh painstakingly crafted over 18 seasons. The stakes are high. The next coach must balance offensive innovation with defensive discipline, foster strong relationships in the locker room, and ensure the team remains competitive in a division that is as challenging as any in the NFL. The organization is navigating this delicate process carefully, understanding that the wrong hire could ripple through the roster, the fan base, and the league at large. Conversations behind the scenes suggest the Ravens are leaning toward candidates who understand the unique culture of the team, particularly those with prior experience in Baltimore or familiarity with Harbaugh's systems, but there is also openness to fresh perspectives that could energize the offense and maximize Jackson's talents. Early speculation has already pointed to several candidates, though it remains unclear who will ultimately be given the opportunity to interview. Offensive minds with ties to the Ravens are at the forefront, as continuity is seen as a way to avoid disruption for Jackson and the broader team. Names of coordinators from within the league, some with prior experience under Harbaugh, are being circulated in media reports, reflecting both the franchise's cautious approach and its desire to find someone who can immediately earn the trust of the locker room. Defensive coordinators are also under consideration, highlighting the Ravens' commitment to maintaining the league's top-tier defensive identity. It's a rare situation where a team is simultaneously weighing internal familiarity and external innovation, a balancing act that will require sharp judgment from the front office and ownership. For Lamar Jackson, this transition represents a pivotal moment in his career. Having developed under Harbaugh's system, Jackson is now entering an era where he may face a new coaching philosophy, different defensive schemes, and a potentially altered supporting cast. Sources suggest that Jackson's voice was a factor in evaluating Harbaugh's future, which illustrates how critical his buy-in will be for the next coach. The relationship between quarterback and coach is always central in the NFL, and for a team built around a dynamic talent like Jackson, alignment on philosophy, game planning, and leadership style is non-negotiable. While Harbaugh acted as a mediator in past tensions, the new coach will need to establish immediate credibility and trust, ensuring that Jackson feels confident in the offensive direction and comfortable as the leader on the field. The Ravens' front office is clearly approaching the search with an eye toward long-term stability, but also flexibility. Multiple sources indicate that ownership has already engaged with several head coaching candidates, with a focus on those who can handle both the pressure of the NFL spotlight and the high expectations of a city that demands excellence. Teams around the league are watching closely, not just for Baltimore's next move, but to understand trends in coaching hires and potential impacts on competitive balance. Every decision the Ravens make in this period will send signals, both internally to the team and externally to the league. The balance between making a bold hire and maintaining the franchise's identity will define not only the Ravens' next chapter, but also the perception of the organization across the NFL. Offensive philosophy is a central consideration in the search. The Ravens are a team built around speed, agility, and Jackson's unparalleled dual-threat capabilities, meaning that whoever steps into the role must understand how to leverage that talent. Candidates with experience in creative, fast-paced systems are likely to be favored, but the team's defensive tradition cannot be ignored. The organization has prided itself on having one of the league's most consistent, disciplined defenses, and integrating that mindset with a forward-thinking offensive approach is critical. Sources close to the Ravens indicate that the ideal candidate would be someone who respects the franchise's historical approach while also being willing to innovate and evolve with the current roster, ensuring that the team remains relevant and competitive in a league that is constantly shifting. Beyond the X's and O's, leadership and locker room culture are at the forefront of the evaluation process. Harbaugh's legacy was built not just on strategy and wins, but on his ability to maintain relationships, foster trust, and motivate players through highs and lows. Any new head coach will be expected to immediately command respect, while also developing a personal connection with a roster accustomed to a particular style of management. Player feedback is likely to remain a significant factor as candidates are vetted, reflecting the lessons learned from Harbaugh's exit. The organization has made it clear that they value voices within the locker room, and future decisions will likely hinge on how well a prospective coach can navigate those dynamics. Building alignment without alienating key contributors, the league-wide response to Harbaugh's departure has been remarkable. Analysts, commentators, and rival teams are dissecting the situation, examining the nuances behind the Ravens' decision. Many note that while Harbaugh's record and accomplishments were exceptional, the complexities of relationships within the team, particularly between Jackson and Monken, played a major role. The narrative is not about failure, but about the evolving needs of a franchise seeking to remain competitive at the highest level. The ripple effect is already evident, with teams taking note of how player-coach dynamics, ownership priorities, and long-term strategy intersect. It's a reminder that even legendary tenures can come to an end when organizational alignment shifts and circumstances demand change. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers are growing loud around the league that the Baltimore Ravens may be preparing one of the boldest moves of the offseason, bringing SAQUON Barkley to Baltimore to completely redefine their backfield. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to this situation suggest internal discussions are heating up, and the idea alone has already sparked intense debate among executives, fans, and analysts. The Ravens have long been known for their dominant ground game, built on physicality, versatility, and creative schemes. Adding Barkley to that identity would represent a seismic shift, not just an upgrade. At his best, Barkley is a rare blend of power, speed, vision, and receiving ability. A running back capable of dictating defensive game plans on his own. Pairing that skill set with Baltimore's system could create a level of unpredictability the franchise has never truly unleashed. Speculation centers on the belief that the Ravens want to take pressure off their quarterback while maintaining their run-first DNA. Barkley's presence would force defenses to commit extra bodies to the box, opening lanes and matchups elsewhere. Coaches reportedly see him not only as a runner, but as a chess piece, someone who can line up anywhere and punish mismatches. Whether on early downs or in high-leverage situations, there are, of course, questions fueling the rumor mill. Cap implications, durability concerns, and long-term commitment are all part of the internal calculus. Yet the Ravens have never shied away from calculated risks when they believe the payoff could be transformative. Around the league, rival teams are quietly monitoring the situation, Aware that a healthy and motivated Barkley in Baltimore could tilt the balance of power, for now, it remains speculation. But the idea alone is enough to set imaginations racing if this move materializes. It wouldn't just be another roster change. It would be a statement that the Ravens are ready to dominate the backfield like never before, blending star power with a system built to maximize it. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.